You guys are gonna have to forgive me. I'm so sweaty. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I just fetched a steering lock and I added my keyring. I know I've got GP what. I was actually thinking, like, I drove an EC car for about 6 years. I drove a GP for 3 years. And I drove an L for Limpopo for 1 week. And now I'm driving CAA. So that's exciting. This is the last about the car. But someone did ask that I make a 3-month video. I think I might trust MFC Auction. And I will do that. So May, so June, July, August. Yeah, just before September. Because I'm planning a trip. Yeah, I want to take my friend home. Yeah, anyways, I got my steering. I just don't know where to put it because it used to sit behind. So now I'm not sure. Banzai P steering loss. This is painful, but yeah, the phone fell. Yeah, I got myself some flowers. I always get myself flowers on Sundays. But what I was actually there to do was to register the car, hence the new number plates. So what I have here I'm just gonna log into my YouTube studio because I want to answer a few questions. I also wanna tell you guys how I got the car here because I think that's also quite important, and that's what this video is gonna be about. It's gonna be how I got the car to Cape Town, and excuse my nipples, I can't do anything about them. I'm gonna talk about that. Then I'm gonna talk about the license and reg costs, and then I'm going to do some Q&A from the questions that you guys asked on YouTube. And because this thing is acting up. Yeah, I'm supposed to be connected to Wi-Fi because I'm close to my house, and then data wise I don't know if I have data. MTN. Okay, but I'll start on how I got the car here. So I actually wanted to pull up the quotes, but I had 3 quotes. One was VDS, so that's the company that moved NP200 Yam to Cape Town when I came here. So that quote is about 6.6. I reached out. Oh, the lighting is so bad. I reached out directly to the lady that had, that was the sales agent that I dealt with, hoping for a discount, but no, they were like 6.6, of which it's not bad, right? The only thing was, the car was on 32,000 or 31,000 kilometers, or 32,000 kilometers, and the check service light was on. So I didn't want to take the car from Gauteng to here without it being serviced, right? Because the more you drive it with the check engine service on, or service queue for service light on, the more likely something goes wrong. Yeah, so that was one of the problems. Besides the cost, the other problem was that I needed the car serviced, right? So for the car to be released, maybe I should start there. For the car to be released, pending a confirmation of your insurance, like I told you, that letter, and then I'd gotten the finance, and then so I got the finance with MFC. The reason that Wesbank rejected me was because financially they said and holy sharp, and that's only because they didn't have my home loans. They saw my home loans, but then they didn't have my lease agreements, right? Wesbank, FNB has them, but Wesbank didn't. So this lady calls me and she's like, obviously you can't live in X number of houses. I've got quite a few properties. So do you have lease agreements? And I was like, yes. And then I sent them, then I started processing. But then I realized that they were processing the BMW that I had applied for three weeks ago from We Buy Cars, remember? And that deal hadn't gone anywhere, right? Because I didn't, like, I had my uncle go and test drive with my cousin and something was not made sure. So that deal fell through. So now I'm like, no, Wesbank, that's not the car that we're moving with here. And then they're like, oh, which car? Then I tell them from MFC Auction House, and they're like, oh, we don't finance other auction houses. We finance Bidvest Beachmoors, and then we finance our own Wesbank auctions, both of which you can find on their website. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So Wesbank was out. Standard Bank gave me, like, quickly online, they gave me an offer. I didn't try ABSA, and then Nedbank was obviously going to be the easiest one because it's their auction house, right? and I had somewhat of a relationship with a Nedbank previously. So that's how the finance went, right? So once I got all of that sorted, Nedbank pays, or auction house pays Nedbank, and then Nedbank starts the finance situation. The issue then is everything is sorted, like finance wise, and everything is sorted paper wise. The other thing is that I made the mistake. This was going to be a separate video, but I don't really want to. I made the mistake of not applying for pre-approval because I was sure that I had an affordability what with Wesbank, because on the Nedbank app I had a just for you offer that was very healthy. So I was confident, not knowing that they don't pay for certain auction houses. So that's a mistake I made, so you don't have to. So then the next thing is that they give me a thumbs up, everything's ready now. My friend Ntando, shout out to you, babe, was going to go and fetch my car. The nkinga then is she's not me. So these guys are like, look, we need you to verify yourself. I'm here, I'm studying Dinestres, it's a CFA, but luckily I was on study leave at the time. So I go to what's the name? I go to the nearest Nedbank. I do the fingerprint thing. They verify me. The person sends it through to MFC Auction House. You have to understand, MFC Auction House is separate from MFC Nedbank, but they've got a working relationship. You understand? So you mustn't take it for granted that when you're dealing with someone, you're dealing with someone else as well. So that's just something I also learned, I guess, the hard way, right? Fine. So fingerprint gets sorted. The car gets released, Ntando picks it up, and then she parks it at her place. She goes and she checks it out. She sends me videos. Everything is pashash. It had some writing in T-Pex here to see which kind of car it is, and then they've got the document on it to make sure it's the right one. I asked her to check the mileage to make sure it's the right car. I asked her to check, a bunch of things just to make sure she's picking up the right car. Cool, she's picking up the right car. She picks it up, it's a Senton. Now, when I was busy with this whole thing, I was plotting, I was what. My boy was helping me up here. Like, I'm telling him, this is what I'm working with, this is the straight. The only thing he cared about the first time I told him was, Ina is roof to die, boy. To die now. And I didn't mind because I want roof rails because, I'm always out and about. So I didn't mind that I know is roof. Into manual and cruise control, you understand? I knew leather seats, it's either GTI or GT, so I was like, okay, let me live and love and leave those. And I wanted infotainment, and I wanted the the multifunctional steering, right? So he wants a sunroof on his, and yeah, that's like a non-negotiable for him. So yeah, and I think he likes the turbo, but it's not like I think it might be a nice to have for him, but yeah, fine. So when I'm telling him about the costs now to bring the car here, he's like, I'll do it. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, sharp. Now kumzala wam, right? That's day one. Boy, if he sees this video, that's my boy. So use East London. Now, why the pressure? I can't go to Gauteng. Why can I not go to Gauteng? And someone here mentioned that I should have considered going to the auction myself. I'll touch on that on the questions. I can't connect. I'm going to need to hotspot myself. I'm going to need to cut the video and then come back when I get to the questions. But someone was like, it's recommended to go to the auction. Babies, I know. I couldn't. I've got CFA. I can't move. I'm not going to risk the exam to fly for a car, but at the same time, I'm not going to let go of the car. That's also why I said I took a risk. I took a risk not because I bought for auction, but because I bought from auction without having put eyes on the vehicle. You know what I mean? Fine. Also, you've got a week, right? I think the cars get released maybe on the Monday, and the auction is on the Wednesday, or maybe Saturday. They're already on for the following week. So I don't have the luxury of going and asking like my uncle, can you go and view? Like, if he's busy, he's busy. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna let this go? And also, you have to keep in mind that I've done this before. I've asked people to go and check out things, and then that sort of impedes me from moving forward. So I was like, okay, this is on me. A ticket or nothing. Fine. So this boy is like, I'll do it. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. But as we're talking, the bookish flight, say East London. I'm Tanzania, and the bookish flight from East London to Elanduken, Joburg, ne? OR Tambo, so East London to OR Tambo, King Palo to OR Tambo for Friday. He says he can take off Friday or he can take off Monday, but he can't take off both. Msebenzi. Did okay, boy. Must title a flight 6:30 p.m. to Joburg at okay. The bookish at the same time. You can't change your mind. This is booked. This is money. It's like, okay. Mind you, the quote is 6.6, the quote is 7.4, the quote is 8.3. You understand? So now that is the money that we're competing against. And I'm like, I don't want to pay this money. Rather, this boy can do a road trip, because on top of the road trip, he's going to be able to take the car to service and drive it down. You can't drive a car long distance that we don't know, but is it safe or not? So my boy needs to take it for service first. Cool. So I book East London or King Palo to what's name? To OR Tambo for the Friday. Sharp. Akonginga. Then I think that was okay. Let me pause and hotspot myself so that I can get the flight and the amounts and everything on point. Okay, we're back and shiny Emma. Now guys. Alright, so I'm quickly just gonna go and I'm quickly gonna go. I want to try and open my WhatsApp so that I can go to our chats and get the flight amounts. Sorry, I know the light is so bad. Oh, it says I haven't WhatsApped on this machine. Okay, so it's gonna have to be here. I'm gonna just have to say fly safe. I just want to show you how the money tied up. Yeah, okay. So this was, I made the booking on the 13th of May for the Friday, right? The first flight from Mzantsi, King Palo to OR Tambo was 780, right? Cool. As I'm getting off the phone with this boyki, I'm chatting to Ntando. Ubana, okay, plan yobana apoza zoitata imoto Friday, you understand? Then flega dimbuksheli down. Atuntando, no need. Angahlala nam no pay. Love lives here. Love lives in Midrand. I hope she sees this. So I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yes. I'm like, okay, thank you so much. But ask Bay. Bay confirms that Upe can stay over. So Ntando's like, thumbs up. I'm like, perfect. -1 problem. Cool. Now what do I need? I've got the flight, but I don't have a service, right? I don't have a service and I don't have a service plan. Right, I call VW the following morning. VW, look up this car for me. I do some authentications because obviously you can't just look up a random car. They do some security tests. I'm like, the car hasn't been transferred to me yet, but I've bought it. I just need to know in a service plan or not. Cool. They tell me the car is on its 3rd year of the warranty, the manufacturer's warranty, but I know service plan. The Muzi has it been to service, and they say they can't find that. They find a service inquiry, of which it doesn't really make sense. And then when I call again, it has been to service, the 15,000 service. It hasn't been to the 30,000 per service. Okay, it's fine. Then I buy a warranty plan, an easy drive maintenance and service and maintenance plan, right? I paid about 13K for that, right? Fine. So now I've got a service plan. I've got a flight booked for someone to go grab the car. Cool. Then I have to call VW and say, hey, I need a booking. They want to make a booking because VW is in Qabeja, Etinacha, right? They're trying to make a booking in mainland. I think the woman doesn't know Joburg very well. And I was like, no ways. You can't take Imoto from Midrand to mainland and then back down and you're driving to Ekapa. It wasn't making sense. I'm like, no, leave it. I'll handle it. The phone Benoni. VW Princess Benoni. They were really good and really happy with their service, except they haven't sent me anything to show that the car was serviced. I've been on top of them with that, but I think we're just missing each other because there's no physical service plans anymore. I think since 2019, 2018 kwa VW. So I need something that shows what was covered at service yet. I still haven't received that. It's been like a week now. Otherwise, the service was really good. My cousin was happy. I was happy. Cool. I call Princess Benoni. Hey, I need a service on the Saturday. Do you have a service plan? Yes. But for third party service plan, we can only do weekday. Didi, I'm a beggar. And I've got a VW service plan. But oh, perfect. So this is a hack. So for VW, they will service your car on a Saturday. But if you've got a third party service or maintenance plan, or if you're paying cash Monday to Friday, I was like, huh? Fine. So we do. Oh, I love my nails. So we do the what? Sorry, I'm using front camera, so I'm looking at myself. Fine. So they do the booking. So now things are coming together, and in a service plan, the Batel. So I didn't finance the service plan. I paid for it cash. The Batel service plan, I've paid for my boys' flights. Cool. Fine. He has to fly there, grab the car or sleep over on the Friday. Saturday morning, drive the car to Benoni. First thing is service, and then he has to hit the road. Fine. He hits the road. Ne? All of that works out. He hits the road. My friend fetches him. Ukwele Gautrain, it was his first time. Ukwele Gautrain, Wesai Midrand, Ntando Wamtata, went back to their place. And yeah, he slept over there. Saturday morning, wafrucha, watati moto, waivutela. Did the boy, how is it feeling? Uti chwanga ya responda. Did you tinuti ewe? Fine. He gets there. First thing, he's in the workshop. They opened, I think, at 8. He gets there, they service the thing, everything grand. On the Decra report, there was something for the auction now, MFC. They had said something about it breaks a bag. So I'd notified them ahead of time. But basically the parts aren't available. So now I'm stressed. My boy is like, don't worry. I was like, hey, D-man, like I'm stressed on his behalf. Fine. When he takes it for service, these guys are like, no, there's nothing wrong here. It was just due for service. That's it. Ne parking brake, BCT alignment, which I know is something that they fix at service, because I had an issue like that with the NP200 yam. So I wasn't worried about parking brake, but I was worried about the back or rear brakes, which is why I notified them. And that's actually why I bought the maintenance plan. Otherwise, I would have just bought a service plan, right? Because it's 2 years, 13,000 for 2 years. Yeah, 2 years, 13,000, or 2 years, 60,000. So I've already used one of the years, right? Fine. So now he gets the what's the name. He gets there, he takes it for service, and now he hits the road. So the distance is 1,600 kilometers to here, from Ebenoni to here. It's 1.6 kilometers, and he did it over 2 days. My thing was, don't rush. It's an outing for you, chill. Obviously, I put some money in his pocket. I think I sent about three and a half. Yeah, I put some money in his pocket. I also put some money in Ntando's pocket for, obviously, petrol as she's fetching the car from Kempton Park. Because they tell you the car battery might be flat or there might not be petrol. So they advise you to bring those two things. I basically know, garage is close. The bonile Landuka is on. Petrol light is on. Garage is close though, don't worry. Motor flat, we can drive. Fine. So she drove there with a colleague yake, and then they drove the car back to the office. It chilled there for like 2 days, and then on Friday wako to Kanayo so that my cousin can fetch it from there, because Ntando had a hike Saturday morning, so she wasn't gonna be able to go back with him. Back and forth. Fine. So he starts the trip, and I'm like, my boy, I don't want you to rush. At the same time, I want to know when you're feeling a bit tired, so that's it, bookisha. And for bookisha in time, Kandi, you want to drive 6 hours and then you want to rest. Let me hear from you. Fine, and activate as a Colesberg. But okay, I think I'll be ready to stop in the next couple of hours. The problem is that ufona pa late go 8. I'm going to insert some pictures here somewhere about where he stopped and the hotel. It was Merino Hotel Inn. And then, that's where he stayed at Colesberg. So between Colesberg and Beaufort West, those are the two big towns. It's like really thin in terms of booking.com. So I was like, it's either you stop here and then you've got 8 hours to Ekapa, or you stop a bit closer and you're 5 hours to Ekapa. Both of which are like, don't you want to just chill, enjoy relax, rather than pressing yourself? Because in between, it's a bunch of very Afrikaans towns, which is something we're obviously aware of. And it's very thin in terms of the availability on booking.com. So we wanted a big town where it's not going to be an issue. And we're likely going to find a place that's going to be able to accommodate him. Fine. Petrol utiamba right, he's showing or he's explaining efficiency and no, he wasn't explaining efficiency, he logged the trip, but we didn't stop the trip, so now it's on 1,800 and something, so it's still continuing from that trip because Andiasba Dianzwanjan. Fine. So he's doing that thing. He is having trouble with his USB cable, connectivity. Tengi phone, boy. If you see this, tengi phone. So that's the only thing. Otherwise, Utimoto right in Dondoni. After the service, fresh, pepe, yamba fresh, agana complaints. I think wete twice, yeah. Once. I think wete once after the what's name. Ntando wetile ne. Then weta yena before he left, and then weta again at Colesberg. Fine. So you're going to Yamba, right? Then he wakes up the next morning and he drives, and then he gets here. So when he gets here, I have to book for him. Why? Because I've got a flatmate, which is why I have my desk in my room so that a lounge can be ours, right? So this is how it all comes together. So when he gets here, he can't stay with me because I'm staying with a woman and I don't want it to feel uncomfortable, with just a random guy to her, because he is just is like my cousin, that's my boy, but to her is a random guy. So I just wanted to be considerate. So I have to book for him. I booked for him in this really cute place, really in Sandown. Yeah. It's a Bowen, what. It was very, very nice. So Nampukshala Paya. So he gets here, and now the cost thing is he has to get back home. So I think I booked for him on a Wednesday. La flight ka fly safe a 780 from East London. Then Dampukeshala a 980 from Cape Town to Mzantsi, right? That's Tuesday morning. So he has work on Tuesday. So the flight was leaving here past 6. Getting to East London just before 8. Yeah, understand that. It's enough time for him to change, and then I know, okay, you are 9. So he was like, okay, cool, which means it was 2 nights here in Cape Town. And then I fetched him on Sunday, or he came on Sunday, then he drove himself to the place, and then I drove the car back. And then we can't hang out as well, right? Because I'm writing on the Monday. Cool. Monday I took my city. I don't like driving to town, and that's where my exam was. I get to town, I do my thing, and then that's Monday. And then first thing I do is I go and fetch him straight after my exam. Damn locator, where you at? I go and I grab him. And then we went out for drinks at News Cafe, and then we went out for dinner at, I forgot, Coco something. Yeah, we went out for dinner after that, but it was really fun. And then Dampuksheli Uber for the next morning because I wasn't going to be able to drive him to an airport and then still drive to Msebenzi. You understand that? So cost wise, it was let's say 3 that I put in his pocket, 500 for petrol Ntando, so that's 3.5. Flight to Mzantsi, let's say 800, that is 2.3. Then let's say 3.5 plus 8, 4.3 then flight back 1,000, so a 5.3. So had I not had a flatmate, he would have obviously stayed with me, so it would have just been no 5.3 Shambi plus la Uber, which was about 300. It would have been about 5.6, which is still cheaper than getting those companies to move my car, because the cheapest there was 6.6. Then obviously I booked for him here. That one was a bit expensive. I think it'd be 1.8. So plus 2, it was about 7.3. But I'm spending it on my boy. He enjoyed the trip. Yeah. So those were the total costs to get the car here. I know that was a big thing. So now the car's here. What is next and what is the rush? The car has to be transferred in my name in 21 days. That was the rush. Ntando busy. The car I bought, I finalized everything, I think, because he fetched it on the 13th, which means, let's say, the 12th of May, right? Which means I've got 21 days from the 12th of May, which means I've got until the end of May, right? Let's call it end of May, right? This week I'm writing. I can't move. So I was going to have to do this week. Go to Joburg, drive the car down. I'm looking at my schedule. I'm like, yeah, understand that. So that was one of the things that was pushing me. And then this month end, it's not going to be enough time because I'm going to Eswatini for bushfire, and then I've already booked a return flight. I wasn't going to cancel my flight and drive the car down. Also, I need 2 days at Josie to do the service and then to start the drive. So I'd run the numbers, right? The channel is Quantum SA. I know how decisions work. I'd run the numbers and it just wasn't coming together. So this is why I chose this direction. Cool. So now the car is here. What is next? The license disc is expired. The license disc was I have it here. It was 2024 or 4:30. So it wasn't even 1 month late. It was like a year and 1 month, right? So the car needs to be registered in my name. That is something that a dealership does, but for your auction, they don't do it. Bona, they sent me, it's a thing that I can request on my banking app now that I'm with Nedbank. I can request a form that is basically, I'll tell you now. I'm just searching on my emails, MFC copy of notice, right? That is the only thing that you need from Nedbank, the copy of notice. I think you can request it on the website, right? So it's got a password. Right, so a copy of notice is what you need. Then I'm gonna insert here, I went to then I have to get a DECRA sticker, a roadworthy sticker. So I went to DECRA in Bellville, or not Bellville, in Brackenfell. I'm just gonna add the video here. That's us listening to the video. So I went to Brackenfell, I did the DECRA report. What did that cost? $732. Right? You get the roadworthy certificate. The problem then is that I went there yesterday after my swimming and after like going to the gym and showering after swimming. So I didn't have enough time to go to the licensing center. You need the copy of the notice, right? And then you need the DECRA, not the report, you need the DECRA certificate, right? To say that the car is roadworthy, the roadworthy certificate, right? I took those two today. Today, after my cycling thing and after breakfast, I went to Table View Mall. I'm also going to attach that here. Consider that attached. I went to Table View Mall. That is the licensing department that I went to. It's open on Sundays and I found it quite efficient. I got there. They needed my proof of address. They needed my physical ID. And then I needed to fill in the blue form. I fill in the blue form. They're looking up some stuff on the PC. They can see a lot of the things that I'm already saying from the bank. I sent them the copy of the notice, or I showed them the copy of the notice as well, right? Cool. I had to go and print my physical, what's her name? I had to go and print, this video is so long. I had to go and print my physical proof of address. They've got a DHL in the same mall. So I went and I printed my proof of address physically, and then I went in. They did all of the work. They printed it disc. Now, because it disc expired on the 30th of April 2024, the lady is saying I'm going to have to pay penalties. And I'm like, why? The car wasn't mine. And then she looks up and then she does her thing and she's like, oh no, you don't. So don't worry about that. If you're buying from an auction house, it doesn't matter when the disc expired. What matters is when you took ownership. So I only had to pay I'll tell you now. Oh, sorry, my thing is flat. So because it's flat, so everything is dark. So I paid $534. Yeah, here's it. I paid $534 for a disc. That's all I had to pay. I didn't have to pay anything to actually register the car, right? The $534 is based on Imoto and based on the license disc renewal. Cool. When I'm coming out of there, the lady is like, okay, now you can go and print Ilanduka number plate. And I'm like, how much does that cost? Like, Anayo 2 point or 3 point, because that's what I thought it was. She's like, no, it's like 200, 300. You can do it next to a DHL. I'm also going to attach that here. And I was like, oh no, perfect. Because I thought I was going to get that temporary paper thing. Cool. So I go next door. I'm done now. The car's registered in my name. Obviously, the bank is the owner and I'm the owner, but the bank is the title holder. I think that's the word. So I go next door. I ask them for a quote. How much is this? They're saying $350 ilanduka license plate, ne? A $350 license plate, and then R100 installation. I was like, perfect, ring it up. Then they gave me one to go and measure downstairs. Then back at a basement. So now I had to go. I bought some coffee as well. But I went, I fetched my car, and then I changed entrances. I'm not with Limpopo anymore. I'm with Cape Town. So that the guy could also do the installation. cool, I did that, but that was 450 for a licensing, right? 350 for the number plate, and then 100 rand for him to remove the Limpopo plates and to install the CAA plates. So that's basically it. The car is registered in my name. It's got number plates that are correct. Yeah, the process is basically done. Like I said, if 534 it disc, 732 it decra. In number plate, 450 with the installation. So that's about 1.5 total. Do you understand what I mean? So it's not too expensive and it's not too difficult admin wise as I thought. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go to YouTube and go and try and see the questions that you guys had asked, so that I could hopefully also you know, I'm going to try and answer the questions that were asked. And let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try and answer the questions. Okay, so someone asked me to do it, the video in 3 months again. I will, an update video. And someone says, I paid 34 excess and ridiculous terms and conditions. I don't use naked insurance. I must consider switching to naked shem. And then someone said, VS code girl. Okay, then someone says, thank you. Okay. Okay, someone said good money decision. Okay, there aren't actual questions on this one. Let me go on the other video. There was a really good question on, let's see. Okay, there were really good questions on the original video. You guys will have to excuse me. Okay. Someone says, very informative, thanks for sharing. Just one question though, how much does a car vertical check cost? I did a car vertical cost. I bought for 3. I think it was about 450. I got a discount code from, or a discount link from the car guy. So if you check out the car guy's videos, you'll find a link to car vertical. I did a car vertical search. It didn't have much. It was very thin on this car. I just know that it wasn't accident damaged. But I did also check it out on a BMW 1 Series that I found on We Buy Cars. Not the one I made an offer on, but another one. So that one showed an accident. And it showed which side of the car the accident was at and how much the damage was worth. And it said something about the aircon might have been impacted. So it is quite helpful, the car vertical, and that's how much it costs. And then... Okay, here's one. Someone says, lovely video, but it's highly recommended to attend auctions in person. Sometimes you see things pictures don't show and you buy a car as is. It says, I love Birchmoors, but sometimes they're expensive. He's absolutely right. Like I said, I took a risk. In future, I am going to try and like be present at the auctions if I am looking for another car, but I might be actually looking for a commercial vehicle. Yeah, my friend and I are starting a company, so we're going to be looking for a pickup truck. I've also got a scooter that's being delivered next month, so if you know someone who's driving and looking to rent a scooter, Ekapa, just comment down below. My email is actually on my profile, ntando@gmail.com, so they can just reach out to me. So yeah, we're going into the logistics sector, so I definitely am going to be looking further, and I'm definitely going to be attending in person just for, you know, safety. But my friend is based at Jozi, so I don't think that should be a problem. And then someone says they must share where I can get the spreadsheet. I don't think I'm gonna share, but MFC does have an auction calculator, so that's in the video. I mentioned it in the video and I showed you how to get it. So, or you can just Google MFC auction calculator. It's a PDF where you can see if I buy for 150, here are the costs, it's going to end up as 180. So maybe follow that. Someone says I'm budget conscious, keep it there always, my boy. Then Uspamandla said congratulations. I know he wants to say finally. Buyer's commission, how is it calculated? It's 5% of the bid price, and then it also has VAT on it. And then someone asked, are there fees associated with delivery of the car all the way to Cape Town? If you're based here and bid on auction in Joburg or anywhere else in SA and MFC auctions, that's literally what I responded to now. Ntando, that's a really good question. So this video was targeted at that. You're on your own, they don't transport the car. MFC is like done. As soon as you've paid, the car is there, you need to go and fetch it. If you don't go and fetch it, they start charging you storage fees. Someone is asking about the spreadsheet. Guys, there's an auction calculator online, so just use that if you can't make the spreadsheet on your own. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. It is way too long. I hope this was helpful, and I hope I shed some light. I'm so sorry about the light. There's really very little I can do. What's next for the car and myself? Smash and grab. I'm gonna do smash and grab, and then I'm also gonna do roof rails, but not right now. On the right, and yeah, that's essentially it. It's just gonna be smash and grab, and then that's the roof rails or something also that I want for my bike, either roof or at the back. I'm gonna put like something for when I'm transporting my bike. I'm gonna do two, like for when my friend also gets a bike and then we're traveling together or something. So I'm gonna get a multi-bike carrier, and then I'm gonna get smash and grab. Then I think in August, if I have both of those by then, I will show you guys. But I'm looking forward to road trips. I'm gonna do daisies in this, and then I'm gonna do the Maletsunyana Braai Fest. I think I'm gonna drive to LSU to using the car. Obviously, I'm gonna go on the website for Naked and do the cross-border transport request. And yeah, I'm gonna do everything by the book. But yeah, I'm gonna stop the video now. My flowers are dying. I need to bring them inside the house, and yeah, I'm so happy that you guys came along on my car journey. And I know a lot of people are saying this isn't quanti, but like, what's not more quanti than applying your quantitative finance skills in your personal finance? I mean, there's only so much I can tell you about how much actuaries earn. So the channel is multifaceted because I am a multifaceted woman, and yeah, there's playlists for different things, so hopefully you can wrap your head around that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, this is it for the car and I hope to see you guys on the road. Thanks.